Accountability for harvesting groundfish off the BC coast is a core principle in the groundfish trawl fishery. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans and the trawl industry pioneered the accountability process through the development of the 100% dockside monitoring and at-sea observer programs. The dockside monitoring program was created in 1994 to accurately account for landed catch. The at-sea observer program was created in 1996 to monitor stock-specific species catches and releases and collect biological samples and scientific information that assists scientists in assessing the health of groundfish stocks. The commercial catch data, which includes both retained and at-sea releases of trawl-caught groundfish, provides an extremely accurate and timely accounting of total mortality by species and area. Information from both dockside and at-sea monitoring are also used for in-season management and enforcement of the fishery rules and regulations. An independent company, Archipelago Marine Research, is under contract to DFO and the trawl industry to provide dockside monitoring and at-sea observer services. DFO outlines program requirements and provides oversight and observer certification.
We have a large number of staff, anywhere from 40 to 55, depending on the time of year, working as at-sea observers for Archipelago Marine Research. To be a fisheries observer, they complete 3 weeks of training, conducted primarily by Archipelago, but there's a large Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada screening component as well to that certification process.
All groundfish species that are caught must be accounted for. This means the catch is closely monitored at sea and dockside to accurately determine total mortality, and the vessel operator must have or obtain equivalent IVQ to cover the mortality of each species caught. If a vessel does not have IVQ to cover the catch, the vessel can no longer fish.
Right here I'm sexing this fish.
The at-sea monitoring and the dockside monitoring allow us to have a full accounting of what is being removed out of the stock. Dockside is the actual fish being landed at the dock. The at-sea observer information gives us detailed information on the amount of effort, the type of fishing gear that's used, the catch and bycatch or non-directed catch that's associated with that fishing event, right down to the latitude, longitude, and the time of capture, so that we have a full accounting of all removals out of the stock.
To ensure 100% accountability for all groundfish species caught and landed by the groundfish trawl fleet, there is a chain of custody requirement in place.
Archipelago, Morton speaking.
John Roach off the Frosty. I'd like to request an observer.
A vessel heading out to fish hails out to Archipelago Marine Research, stating departure date and location, and the anticipated return date and location. The skipper will also request an at-sea observer. This information is entered into the skipper's logbook, as well as the independent monitoring database. During the trip, the observer will monitor all aspects of the fishery, including obtaining catch estimates by species and area, and collecting biological samples used in assessing stock health and abundance.
It's a really rich data set. I mean, we're getting roughly 20,000 observations a year of individual set-by-set information, and usually anywhere from 20 to 60 species being cataloged from each set. Every trip we get a couple of otolith samples to age the catch, and we get usually a fairly broad range of size composition data. The quantity of data that's coming out of the observer program is something that we could not in any way duplicate in a directed survey program. The cost would be insurmountable.
Yeah, this is Martin Kennedy here, Arctic Ocean. I'd like to hail in, please.
When a vessel is ready to deliver its catch, it hails in and requests a dockside monitor to meet the vessel and audit the sorting and weighing of the catch.
1206 Dover!
The boat just finished, so what's left to do now is that they will clean out all the fish in the hopper and grade it to species. We'll get the weights on all those fish. I'll compare my tally to the plant's tally to make sure our numbers match. The plant will get the yellow copy of this, the vessel will get the pink copy of this. I'll complete the validation record, I'll check the hold on the boat, make sure there's no fish still on the boat. I'll get the skipper to sign off the paperwork, I'll give him the paperwork, I'll give the plants their paperwork, and that's pretty well it for the offload.
All data, including fishing logs, validation logs, and biological samples, must be sent to Archipelago Marine Research, where it is processed.
So we get the observer's data. From here, once it's gone through all of the verification process, it gets exported into a database that looks something like this. From there, we run a number of edit checks on it, and we also use a mapping program. It uses the observer's positional information and plots it. You can zoom in and see each fishing event and where it's plotted. We merge it with dockside data, and we're able to produce the quota status report,
which details each vessel's remaining stock-specific quotas. This information is entered into the Fisheries and Oceans database system via the internet.
From the time an individual lands the fish,
USB dock.
he can tell exactly within approximately 48 hours of how much fish he has left to go out and catch on his next trip. What it allows him to do is set up a business plan, and in addition to that, it allows us, as in terms of the department, to stay within our set total allowable catches, or TAC, so that we're not over harvesting these stocks, that we're actually living within the biological guidelines that we established the quotas for. So they are sustainable fisheries.